Hi, and welcome to another segment of the Sequire Spotlight. I'm Carmel Fisher, host of the show, and of course, VP of Platform Services at Sequire Shrex. With me, I have CTO Pierre Parent. Now, let's clarify that. CTO of GeoTrack, which is a subsidiary of our stock, which is SPYR Inc. with the OTC ticker SPYR. Pierre, welcome.
That's correct. Nice to meet you.
Wonderful meeting you. Please give us an introduction on SPYR Inc. and, of course, the affiliation with GeoTrack that you're CTO of.
Yeah, so SPYR is the holding company. They have been involved in different businesses through their life cycle, but their focus really now is on technology and specifically in the Internet of Things space, IOT. So I was glad to have them buy the intellectual property for GeoTrack, which was a company I worked for a couple of years ago. We were all set to go to market in 2020 and launch a revolutionary tracking product when the pandemic hit. So our ownership at the time stood down on the investment. And then after the pandemic was over, they really focused on some other companies they had largely in the biomedical field and wanted to divest GeoTrack. So I'm fortunate that SPYR was interested in picking up the technology and helping us bring it to market.
Excellent. Straight into the technology. Give us a heads up of how that works, why it's beneficial, and what the short-term strategies are for GeoTrack in general.
Sure, yeah. So the Internet of Things has been around for roughly a decade, depending on who you talk to. But most of the activity in the space has really been driven by what we call critical IoT solutions, real-time, bandwidth-intensive type of solutions. And they work in many, many different industries, from transportation to medical to manufacturing. There's a whole new emerging section in IoT, which is called massive IoT. And there's a little bit of a difference in the go-to-market for that. But massive IoT is trying to solve problems that don't require many of the expensive variables that are part of a critical IoT solution. So GeoTrack referred to it as simple IoT. I want to know if the gates are locked or unlocked. I need to know if a tank is full or a tank is empty. I'm shipping a package. Where is it? So these are not types of solutions for use cases that require real-time tracking, lots of data coming back in. I just need to know at the end of the day, are all the gates on the job site locked, or do I have to send security to lock them up? So we are bringing a patented technology to the marketplace that's specifically designed to take on these simple IoT solutions, these blue-collar IoT solutions. Our launch is going to be with our micro tractor modem. It's about the size of a postage stamp, battery connected antenna. And anywhere that there's cell coverage in the world, we can track the location of that modem. So pretty exciting to go after what is really a greenfield opportunity. Many of our competitors in the marketplace are longstanding multi-billion, multinational companies that are enamored by technology. I'm a chief technology officer, but technologists tend to be enamored with technology, new standards, more bandwidth, higher data rates, which is great, unless I just need to know if the gates are locked at the end of the day. Then I don't need any of that. So we're going to turn the industry on its ear, bring a product to market that is very easy to use, very easy to adopt, low cost, and solves the simple problems that everybody else is ignoring today.
Excellent. Wonderful to get that insight. What do you foresee the challenges being just perhaps in the next quarter? Obviously, understanding you're just coming out of COVID, everyone's trying to really get just their feedback. What challenges do you foresee coming, and what are the solutions to those?
Yeah, the real challenge is we're 100% focused on getting to market in 2023. So the technology, when we went dormant in 2020, had just received FCC regulatory approval and was ready to go to market. It's been a couple of years, so we've gone through and taken inventory of the technology, On the hardware side, everything that we use to build a product is still readily available. We're not encumbered by the chip shortage that many competitors are dealing with. We have some work to do on the software side. Industry standards change, and we want to upgrade our firmware to take full advantage of the latest offerings in the industry. And as we get that done, we've already selected a manufacturer. We already own the critical chipset components that we need, have those in inventory. So it's drop the order and go build the product and launch it in the marketplace.
Wonderful. So sounds like fairly new to the trading market as a public company. What has your experience been so far? Is there a great attraction with investors? And what do you want to leave them with to make sure that they know exactly what they need to about SPYR?
Yeah, we're having good luck talking to investors. Really, the challenge is as I mentioned, we're going after this massive IoT marketplace today. So investors ask, well, who's in that space? And there's not anybody in that space. It's brand new. So we're presenting an opportunity to investors that allows them to get in early on in a marketplace. Really, when you look at in 2030, in this massive IoT space, there's going to be 20 billion connected devices. And today there's, in the couple of 100 millions, right? So huge growth opportunity. But we do spend some time explaining we're different than everybody that you would consider a competitor. We're intentionally different than they are. We're not going after the marketplace that they are already in. And we will turn and burn a lot faster in the space that we're in before they can even realize what we're doing, how we're doing it, and try to catch up with us. So it's a pretty exciting space to be.
Sounds like indeed. So, of course, Pierre being the CTO and this being a very highly technologically focused company, I think investors want to know more about you. What brings you to the space? What experience do you bring? And why should we trust you with this?
Yeah, well, this is the embarrassing part for me, but I've been in the wireless space for over 25 years now. So I've worked for equipment suppliers, worked for some of the big carriers out there, but I'm a wireless brat. I've been building wireless networks and wireless devices for a long time. I am just enamored these days with the IoT space. The carriers and have nobody to sell phones to anymore. Everybody in the world has a cell phone, at least one.
Not more.
Right? Yes.
Exactly.
So the opportunity to go connect things is where the growth is. And I've been involved with GeoTrack going back to 2017. I've worked with some of the biggest competitors in the space, managed them as vendors to me. And they just don't get what this opportunity is. And that's the exciting part for me. So as we go to market, I'm a CTO, but our focus is really making this very simple for end users and customers to understand. If you want to go sell, IoT solutions to a technology company, they want to hear all the techno jargon and all that. When we go and sell technology to a company that manages porta potties, that fills propane tanks, they don't care about technology. They just want to know, do I have to go to the tank tomorrow? How full is the tank? How much material do I bring? So we're intentionally making our solution, and when you look at our website, very easy to understand, very easy to adopt, very easy to use, and just taking it out of the technology realm and bringing it into the business problem solving realm.
Excellent. Definitely see a big gap for that. Do you mind sharing, if you're able to, any key partnerships or clients that have already come on board that are noteworthy for investors to know that this has have the leverage, it's moving forward? Anyone that you'd like to mention in particular?
Yeah, so probably a strategic partner that we're proud to work with is a company called Sequire Communication. They are the silicon manufacturer for the chipsets that we use in our product. They're based in Paris, but they're a global company. We work with them. We're trying to do new things, right? So flexibility in our supply chain is important to us, and they've been a good partner over the last few years, and we see that continuing into the future.
Excellent. What is the growth trajectory, or at least the vision for SPYR, say, the next 5 years? Currently on the OTC, where would you like to see the stock, the company, the development of your space?
Yeah, it's probably, again, my focus is very much on getting to market. So we see an effort at this point in time with a type of investor that's, accepting of the challenges that we face in a pre-market launch. Once we get there in 2023, we think there's a much broader investor opportunity when we have those first customers and have those first revenues, which is pretty exciting. It's interesting for me, having been in the wireless and the IoT space for a long time, when we get out and talk to potential customers about what we're trying to do, we get a real affinity from them. And we solve problems that they have that they don't know how to solve. And we look forward to bringing it there. So we don't have any customers signed at this point. We have some big names we're talking to, but we're not at a point where any of that can be disclosed.
Understood. Would you do this pre-market kind of infiltration when we get there, right, in 2023? Would there be the natural beta versions? Can you speak to us more about how you plan on infiltrating the market?
Yeah, and that's one of the fun part about what we do. Generally, when you build an IoT device to track sensors, to track location, there's a very long, involved engineering process. You come up with an idea, a concept, you get someone that can design PCBs for you, you build prototypes, you go test, you go put some of those in the field. When that's done, you go through a certification process. Once all of that is done, then you can go and manufacture and roll your solution out. That takes months. A good company can do that in 6 to 12 months, right? The companies that we're going after won't even think about doing it because they're not electronics companies. One of the things that makes GeoTrack unique is our modem is already self-contained, right? There's no PCB to build. We literally, when we want to prototype with companies, we take our device, we take some two-sided tape, we find an air gap in their housing, we stick it in there, attach an antenna, and connect it to the battery, and we're up and running. So when we talk about go to market, which has in the industry 12 to 18 months selling cycle, that's because of its design cycle and prototyping. For us, when we talk to customers, they're prototyping next week. If they want to go prototype 1, 5, 100, 1,000, once we have inventory available, that can happen literally in days' time. It's revolutionary. And we think as we go to market, it's one of those things that takes us out of that 12 to 18 month sales and prototype cycle down to one that's measured in days and weeks. And we can't wait to bring that to the marketplace. It registers when we talk to companies, and especially those that have been out there seeking solutions for a while and just don't have the tolerance to go spend the money and the time to go design something, don't have the patience to take an off-the-shelf product that's much more expensive, that does some of what they need, and then wait for ours. We can just be there very, very quickly. And excited to bring that in. That's going to change the game.
Excellent. That's great to know, because with short sales cycles and adoption cycles, right, just as soon as they get it, it's doable, right, and usable. And with that, a lot of revenue generation should be forecast. Do you have an exact date or time or quarter, at the very least, of when we can start seeing this hit the market?
Yeah, so funding is the key focus now. We have to finish some of our engineering validation I mentioned earlier, and then go build stuff. So right now we're in the summer of 2023 is where we plan to be. We're going to try to pull that in as best we can, but that's what we're publicly discussing now.
Wonderful. And as the market would have it, the minute news of this release has come up, that's when our stock prices get really excited and start shooting up. So now would be the time to really get in on SPYR. On the OTC markets, it's SPYR. Pierre, anything else you want to leave our viewers with?
No, I appreciate you spending time with us today, and hope potential investors understand a little bit more about what we're trying to do.
Wonderful. This is why we have these wonderful stories out on Microcap. So look out for the link to this. You can watch it repeatedly. And of course, stay tuned for more. This is the Sequire Spotlight.